Hey everyone, this is Nikki Walton, and this is my presentation on Benjamin Franklin. So, Benjamin Franklin was born in 1706. He surprisingly at that time lived to the ripe old age of 84. He was born in Boston, and he was the youngest of 14 children. His intelligence was noticed very early by his parents, and at age 8, they sent him to the Boston Latin School. As a teenager, he was trained in various trades, including candle making and printing. He had, I'm sure most of you know, many, many major life accomplishments. I could have done many slides on this, but I actually wanted to shove them all on one slide just so you could see just the sheer number. And these are just the major, major accomplishments. He wasn't just gifted in one area. He was a profoundly gifted thinker, and he was interested in writing and just the general betterment of the lives of people around him, which caused him to take all of these leadership roles. And then in his spare time, it seems like he could never turn his brain off because he was constantly inventing and contributing things to society. Some of the things that I had never known before. Obviously, everyone's heard of his connection with electricity and the lightning rod and, even bifocals. But the ones I thought that were really interesting is he was one of the first people, he was a key founder for some pretty major things in our country, including the first hospital, the first library, the first full-time firefighting company, along with a police force. And then some of his interesting inventions. He invented something called the harmonica, and I'm going to click on this link, and I hope it works. It's a really unique musical instrument that I had never seen before. I just wanted to give you guys a quick peek on it.
One of Franklin's favorite inventions. So these are all basically custom blown wine glasses, and they're all nested inside of each other, and the whole assembly is turning so you can play it somewhat piano-like. So here's a little bit from the Lucia.
Anyways, just a quick peek. You can Google that if you want to watch more of it. But just a really unique invention that he looked for a more efficient way of perfecting the water glasses. And so that was kind of just a fun invention that he had. And he wasn't just interested in writing and printing and taking on these roles, but when it comes to his inventions and contributions, he was not just into science, but he was into math. He was into like the natural world and trying to explain how things occur, such as charting the course of the Gulf Stream through the ocean. Just some pretty revolutionary things for his day. So it's kind of cool to read about him and all the things that I just didn't even know. In regards to how it relates to Peerto, cognitively, Peerto says that their minds are just always going, and they're always trying to do new things and challenge themselves. And she discusses the ability to make new problems, requiring proofs and wanting to unlock secrets. And I mean, I thought this was kind of fun. Benjamin Franklin was bored in one of these big giant delegate meetings, and he created this game for himself. It's an 8x8 grid, and all the numbers you see add up to 260, and halfway of each row is half of that. It's 130. And so just to see him invent something just out of sheer boredom, just kind of points to his brilliance. When it comes to some of the scientific stuff he was doing, he was basically using the scientific method before it was actually called the scientific method. He was completely self-taught in regards to many of the things that he did. And so I just found that fascinating as well, that he just kind of figured out the scientific method on his own. Emotional aspect. Pietro states that those who begin their productivity early often continue producing. She discussed how they often don't retire. Often they continue with their work all the way up until they're physically or mentally unable. And this totally fit right with Benjamin Franklin. This was a quote of his. If you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading or do things worth the writing. So, and that's another thing. If you ever want to Google quotes by Benjamin Franklin, he has a million, and he was just a very brilliant writer. And then as Pietro talks about the son of community and culture, she noted that the last borns of a family are typically the rebellious ones who are doing the groundbreaking scientific work. And this also could not have been more true of Benjamin Franklin. Let's see. And then as it relates to culture, just based on the time he lived in, the things that were needed, the way the society and way people were living, that inspired him to do and think of many of the things that he spent his time working on. And then the son of home, he was a brilliant inventor. And Pietro describes strong, independent risk takers in their inventions, but then also normal in other areas of life. And this also was true of Benjamin Franklin. He wasn't flamboyant and power-seeking. He was a really laid-back, practical, frugal. He didn't really stand out in a crowd, but she talks about having supportive, loving childhood, having a supportive family, and these are also very true of Benjamin Franklin. So that is it. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Bye, guys.